Hi, Fee Hills here from AI, and today I'm with the lovely Mike Harsanyi. Mike is a colleague of mine and born in Hungary. Very early, he developed an interest in sci-fi. Well, he's been partly educated in the UK studying physics, computer science, and neural networks before focusing on neuroscience in particular, specializing in modeling the brain and AI. He started a software development business mainly to finance his research in brain modeling and AI, which has led us here today to talk about AI, certainly a platform we're working together on, but also particularly the engine behind that, which is AI bias navigation tool.
Thank you, Fee, for having me here. What inspired me? Well, I'm absolutely fascinated by neuroscience, AI, and technology, and I can't help but think that somehow solution for a better future lies in the combination of those three forces. And AI is exactly that. It uses kind of technology so that it's available for anybody who has access to the internet. It also powered by AI, so a lot of work can be done that would be impossible manually. And also neuroscience is all about how our mind works. So if we want to help the human race, we will have to help the human mind. And this is what AI is all about: how to kind of help humans upscale their knowledge and get more out of their potential.
AI in particular is a bit of a minefield at the moment, and obviously it's being talked about globally and through almost every channel. So what makes this AI, when you talk about AI, different, first of all, as a methodology or engine?
Everybody is talking about AI now, but AI actually is a huge huge field, and there's so many versions of it. We are already surrounded by AI, so in a way maybe the public attention is brought to it now, and we talk about it a lot, but AI has been around for quite a few decades, and is certainly an important part of our life. So just talking about AI in general is a little bit misleading. Why the mind AI is different? It's mainly because it uses this model of the mind. So the AI itself is just doing a lot of work that would be impossible for humans to do, but we are not aiming in any way to create kind of this conscious evil creature. We just want to augment our self and our potential, so that facilitators and trainers can do stuff that would be utterly impossible without AI. With just the numbers included and the data included and all the work included would be impossible for humans to do. But AI is not picky; it's happy to do it, and it is here to do it. We should use it with obviously caution and care.
Talk to me about the concept pyramid, which is really the engine behind the AI navigation tool within the AI platform. So we'll go back to talking about the AI platform in a second. But yeah, let's start with that engine, that AI engine, and how it works.
Okay, the concept pyramid is part of this model, and it is kind of imitating the way the brain stores information and data about the world. But to give you a little example about the importance and the kind of the essence of concept pyramids is just consider this sentence that I have a green iPhone. Now, at the moment, we would all understand what that means. However, if we travel back in time a little bit, when iPhones came out and we only had black and white iPhones, the exact same sentence would have a different meaning. People would not say, "What green? What do you mean green? There isn't such a thing as a green iPhone." Why? Because their concept pyramid is different from ours. They would not have the resolution to see that iPhones can be green, blue, red, whatever color in their minds. let's say 15 or odd years ago, it was still about just black and white iPhones. But push this a little further, and let's go back to say 50 years. If you say the sentence, "I have a green iPhone," they would not understand the I bit in front of the phone. They would say, "Okay, that's a funny way of calling a phone. So what do you mean iPhone? Are you kind of trying to be funny or whatever?" So they would just, their concept pyramid would interpret this sentence as, "Okay, he has a green phone, whatever." But if you go back still in time, let's say to the Middle Ages, they would not understand what iPhone is or a phone is. So they would say, "So he has a green iPhone," and they might, "Okay, I don't know what iPhone is. It could be an exotic animal or whatever." And that is just an example that the concept pyramid is kind of built on the notion that whatever we are trying to explain or teach to someone is kind of, let's call it, the tip of the pyramid. And then for them to understand what we are trying to say, they do have to have a good understanding of the underlying layer concepts that we are using. So, for example, in this sentence, "I have a green iPhone." If they are pretty proficient and do have a strong grip on what these words mean, then they have no trouble whatsoever to learn that "I have a green iPhone." If anything is missing, just like in the example, then their understanding is just going to be somewhat different or maybe completely off. The important thing is that this underlying layer is not kind of the final depths of the concept pyramid, because underneath every concept in the underlying layer there's another little pyramid, and so on until we get down to the most fundamental concepts that humans can interpret and make sense of. So the claim is that if we want to teach or train something to somebody, that in order for them to have a complete full proficiency in it, they will have to be familiar with each concept in the concept pyramid. And this is where AI comes in. No human has the patience to work that out for thousands or millions of people, but AI is very patient and has the mental capacity to do that.
Let's take a growth mindset, because everyone knows these days, certainly in our trade, what a growth mindset is. How many concepts would be in that pyramid? Would there be 1 million, 1,000? Like, how many have they got to know before they have what we would describe as a proficient growth mindset in various areas of their life?
Well, we have to find a practical balance. I mean, obviously there could be millions of concepts there. However, it's not really practical to deal with millions of concepts. So we kind of have to stop after about 5 layers or so. The concept pyramid includes about 100 or so concepts that the AI is dealing with. This is built on the assumption that most people who kind of deal with the mind nudger AI, they're already adults and they already are quite familiar with many concepts in the world. So we don't have to teach them from a newborn baby. But from a newborn baby point of view, it could be 1 million concepts. But from the people we are helping means very, very high level, 100 or so concepts. And if you take another subject like, say, psychological safety, which is also very important to us, there's an overlap. So it's not like that every subject has a totally distinct concept pyramid. They use the same concepts to some extent. So there could be a 20% overlap, and the remaining 80%, which is kind of very much what and how growth mindset differs from the psychological safety subject, but there is still an overlap between the two concept pyramids.
So how do they actually get to fill in the gaps where the missing concepts are?
And that is very important, because this is where the effectiveness in training and teaching comes in. Because very likely the people who let's say take the sprint, they are already familiar with 70% what is stored there. So it would be a waste of time to spend too much time on that. It's enough to mention, it's enough to remind them, but otherwise they're pretty familiar with 70%. What for different individuals, those 70% might be very different. Let's say person A is familiar with the first 70. And person B is familiar with the last 70. This is just an example. Then obviously there's no point for both of them to go through the exact same process and sit through all the 70 concepts which they already are familiar with, only to wait that there might come the 30 that they are missing. So this is when the AI can individualize the learning journey, because it is trying to find out as quickly, as gently as possible, individual proficiencies in the individual concepts, and then the AI concentrates focus and attention on the missing ones, so every individual will have a unique experience and journey, and this is where it saves a lot of time and effort. So every person can achieve kind of the same outcome. It kind of assumes that there is no real proficiency with a certain concept, then it can send unique mind nudges to that individual, and it can try a few times and just assess whether there has been some improvement, and if it runs out of options and ideas, then it just hands it back to the facilitator and says, look, I really tried, but I think that person has seemed to have some problem with that concept, so it's up to you, ingenious human, and now you can do your magic and just sort it out. But that makes it more scalable.
So on the platform with MindNudger AI, it's augmenting this facilitation with the AI to work together to get the job done.
That is very correct. You asked in your first question kind of what kind of motivated us to create the MindNudger AI, and one of the reasons was that sometimes you get ingenious educators. It could be teachers, trainers, or whatever. But the problem is that they love what they're doing, and they start doing it with all their enthusiasm. But after a while, they really love the challenge, how to work it out, how to do it better. But the problem is that after a while, it becomes extremely repetitious, and most creative and talented people very soon become bored with just doing it again and again and again, and the challenge just kind of is not there anymore. And in a way, we lose our best minds to boredom in that sense, and they just either leave because they can't stand doing it again, or they just can't be bothered anymore because they're just not interested. And I think that's a huge waste. And this is where AI, with its infinite patience, can come in and just do the boring stuff and leave the creative, great stuff to humans. And obviously, it has to work together in a kind of symbiotic relationship with the facilitators and educators. This is exactly what technology is for. It is to help us get a better life, to get a better future. So this is my very strong belief, and this is why the MindNudger AI is concentrating on how we can help the best educators, the best facilitators to do what they love.
They can scale their brilliance. But it also does mean, and it's worth mentioning here, the facilitator themselves is going to have to up their skills, because they will be dealing with things at a much higher level. When it's handing it back to the facilitator, the interventions that they make will be higher level. So they need to up their skills. Just talk to us a little bit about that. Why do they need higher level of skills when they have this symbiotic relationships with AI, the concept pyramid?